once again a warm welcome back to the DrMBalmer channel. So, at the day of filming this, I noticed that we are almost 30 subscribers to this channel, and that's about 30 more than I expected. Right now we're at 29 actually, so reaching 30 would be a huge milestone for this channel, of course. Anyway, so thank you everyone for watching my videos and commenting and so on. So I would like to continue with having a look at the new AliExpress item. So it's table lamp, but it's cordless, so it's it's a battery powered small table lamp, and there are some variants. In my case I chose this one, so let's see if I got the correct one. The box is a bit bulging, and you can see it's a bit squished here, but it feels soft inside. I think there are some protective material in here. Basically, why I got this is because I have a dining table which unfortunately doesn't have any power outlet nearby, and it's hard to draw a cable there to get an outlet. So I thought that it would be pretty nice just to have a light in the late evening when having a cup of tea or something, to create a bit of a cozy atmosphere. And it actually says here it's suitable for living room, study room, bathroom and atmosphere making. LED long life, USB charging, 3 light intensities and a tactile switch. So we got some instructions here as well. So we have touch the switch, tap the top for a 3-tone light, long press to adjust the brightness arbitrarily, and the charging port. So it seems to be, I don't know, it's USB-C maybe. Let's have a look. So let's open this up. And what does it say? Dear user, thank you very much for buying the product. So material, acrylic plus iron. Iron, okay. Remote control switch or touch switch. So I suppose this is touch switch. Rated power 3 watts. Rated current 1 amp. Voltage 5 volts. Color temperature 2500 to 6500 Kelvin, I assume. And basically instructions are pretty easy. It says that there's something at the bottom of it, but I believe in this case there we have a touch switch. Yeah, long press the touched place to adjust the brightness of the light. Short press to change the color. Okay, and then we have some other language here. So let's start by getting it out of the package. It says actually here that rechargeable battery 5 volts to amps. I suspect they mean to charge it with a 5 volt power supply capable of 2 amps. Light source max 1 watt. In the manual it said 3 watts, and on the AliExpress listing it also said 3 watts. But that's not the important part right now. let's put this aside. And we have a protective foam here. We do get a USB lead. It's actually a USB-C, which is nice. So let's see what length of it we got as well. So it's not too long, but let's measure it. I will so something like this. 79.4 centimeters, so 80 centimeters, and that's 2 feet 7 1/4 of an inch, or 31 1/4 of an inch, or 31.2 inches, 2.6 feet. This is actually a very handy little measuring tape as well, but this is not the target for this review. So okay, so 80 centimeters, that's completely fine. And since this lamp is easy to just pick up and place wherever you have a charger for your phone or something, then it's not a big deal, I think, if the cable lead is not 2 meters long. So a bit of a plastic bag here. Okay, so yeah, it actually looks pretty decent. I mean, this is acrylic, and this is some kind of metal. It says iron on the on the description on the box, but it looks nice. Actually, it does. So let's measure this one a bit. So let's see here. It's about 30 centimeters. So that's 11 5/8 of an inch, 11.7 inches, or almost 1 feet. Okay, and the base here, let's I have managed to turn it on already accidentally. So we have 11 centimeters, which is 4 5/16 of an inch, 4.3 inches, or 0.36 feet. So it's a nice little light. And let me turn off the lighting in here. One moment. So now I have turned off the light in here, in this room, and we can see the sort of radius here of the light. And I haven't adjusted anything right now in terms of the light color or something like that. So let's have a top-down view of what it looks like. Let's measure the diameter of the light. So it reaches from about here to about here. And now we don't have any light, so we can bring this one in. 66.2 centimeters. That's 2 feet and 2 1/16 of an inch, or 26.1 inches. 2.17 feet. That's okay, I think. So placing it on a table or something where you don't have an outlet, just to get in a cozy mood and a nice atmosphere, I think that's nice. Let's see if we can focus in there. Yeah, we have some LEDs here, and if I manage to turn it off, I just tap it. So now we change the color temperature by just single tapping it, and then it turns off. So we have this one, which is the warmest light, this one, which is the coldest light, and then something in between, and off. And then we can adjust the intensity as well. So if I press it once, and then I press and hold, we're decreasing, and this is the minimum intensity. So we can see that we have some LEDs, and this is the minimum and the maximum. It's decent. Minimum and maximum. And let's see what the maximum is on the warmest light. Yeah, that's pretty cozy actually. So not bad. If I turn it off, so it cost about $16 something US equivalent on AliExpress, but using some coins I got 10% off, so I paid around 15.24 US dollars for it with free shipping. So if we have a look in here, and I will turn on the light, we can see let's, if I manage to, that is there, an array of LEDs. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 LEDs of one kind, and then we have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 LEDs of another kind. And then, oops, let's see here, we have some cables, some resistors there. So yeah, it's a fairly simple construction, I think, but it looks fine. And the question is what kind of battery life we can get out of it, or running time. And I suspect that this base is a little bit soft, maybe, so it's glued in. Maybe we can remove it later and see what kind of battery there is inside. And then we have the charging port here, and I suppose it should be charged before first use. So let's plug it in and attempt to charge it and see what kind of charge current we get and capacity. But now I don't know what the battery state is right now, if it's completely flat or not. I don't think it's completely flat. So but just for the fun of it, let's charge the lamp and see what kind of figures we get in terms of power draw and stuff like that. But actually, just for the fun of it, I suspect that this lamp doesn't have any boost circuitry, and the light will fade with as the battery voltage decreases. And I have brought my lux meter here, so let's in this assuming this is 40% charged maybe, let's have a look at what kind of light we might get from it. So I'll turn off the light on my phone here and see what kind of a base value we get. So let's see here. Yeah, 10 lux. And then I turn it on. 502. I decrease it to minimum. 35 lux. Oops, sorry. And then increase it to maximum. 550. And the minimum was, let's see here, about 50-60, it depends on the light in the room actually. So let's bring this to a darker room. Okay, so this room is darker. This is my bathroom floor here, and we're at 0 lux. So let me I will turn it this way and I place it here. Okay, and the maximum on the warmest light color is about 536 lux. And about halfway there, about 287. Oh, it went back to maximum again, so let's go down all the way. 25 lux. Let's switch the color to the coldest one. Let's see here. Minimum 30 lux. 29. And the maximum 634. Yeah, so we got a little more light. We had some extra LEDs, one extra LED I believe, of one kind than the other. So let's switch to the third mode, which is a mix of those two. And first go to the minimum, and we have 53 lux. And at maximum we got 1073. Yeah, because now all 19 LEDs are lit, which would explain the increased light output. So yeah, now we have some figures here, and we can compare them again, of course, after having charged the light. So let's charge it now. Alright, so I have connected my USB tester here, and I've attached the included USB-C lead. Let's see first what it shows. Also, I have noticed that this lamp isn't completely straight. It tilts a bit to the right here, but that's okay for now. We shall open it up and see what it looks like inside later. So, having connected the light, what do we have? 5.12 volts, 0.41 amps. So 410 milliamps we're charging it. Okay, I will fetch another USB-C lead and see if we get the same figures. So I have a Logitech from my Logitech MX Keys keyboard, USB-C lead. If you haven't seen my video on the HP keyboard, have a look at that, because I compare it to the Logitech MX Keys in that video. So we're at 0.4 amps. Let's have a look here. Zoom in a little bit, maybe. Yes, okay, so let's disconnect it. And try to use the Logitech lead. Yeah, 0.7 amps. Let's remove some. Yeah, so that's a bit of a shame, maybe. If you want to charge it faster, of course, then a better lead will seemingly allow a larger current, a higher current than the supplied lead. So this one, the white one, actually hinders. It has maybe too high a resistance or too thin cables, therefore, which limits the charging current. So that's interesting. Let's and the difference is almost 50%. I mean, from, yeah, what is it, from 0.41 to 0.6869 amps. That's, yeah, almost 300 milliamps difference. That's more than 50%, right? So that's like 75% or something increase. Let's try the white one again. Yeah, 0.41 amps. So that's a shame that included lead does not allow the lamp to charge at the fastest possible current. But okay, I will leave it to charge like this, and we'll see then how many milliamps we actually manage to cram into the battery. And I will continue using this white lead. I mean, at least for charging, if you have the time to charge, then having a slower charge rate should improve the battery life in terms of amount of charges it can take. So yeah, why not? And I will be back shortly once we have some results. Right, so about 35 minutes into the charge, we're down to 260 milliamps of charge current, and we have fed 210 milliamp hours into the battery, about 1 watt hour. So yeah, the charging current is clearly decreasing, pretty fast anyway. So let's wait some more and see what happens. Okay, so about 47 minutes into the charge, we have passed below 200 milliamps of charge current, so we're at 190 milliamps. And in total we have, let's see here, 256 milliamp hours fed into the battery. I was wondering what happens if we turn the light on briefly while it's charging. Is that possible? Yeah, it is possible. The charge current went up to 200 milliamps, and if I long press and hold to increase the light output, how does that affect the current drawn? Yeah, we're up to 0.37 amps, so 370 milliamp hours. And if I choose the mode which uses all the available LEDs, let's see, and then I increase to maximum. Yeah, and then we're back to 0.4 amps, but this lead is probably limiting us, I believe. So let's turn it off. And let's see what happens. Yeah, so the charge current is slowly decreasing again. So it's possible at least to use it while charging. And I suspect that if you want to have some more use time out of the lamp between charges, I mean, if you have a little power bank or something, you could plug it in here, and then if you route the lead somehow so that it's not visible from where you're sitting, then maybe that is an interesting option to get. I mean, if you have you can place this lamp on some box or something, or somewhere where you can hide a power bank of 5,000 milliamp hours or more, then you should get some pretty decent runtime out of it, I suspect. But we haven't yet explored the runtime of this, so we'll let it fully charge first, and then we will try to see what kind of runtimes we can get. Alright, so the charging has just cut off. It was displaying 100 milliamps, and then it went down to 90 milliamps, and then briefly to 80, and then it cut off to 0. And the charge time was 1 hour and 10 minutes and 45 seconds, but we did play around a little bit with the light, and I mean, I did have it turned on previously in the video, so yeah, so 350 milliamp hours is what we got into the light, which isn't a whole lot. So I'm thinking, let's turn the light on and see what kind of running time we get, and how the lux output changes. So let's try that. Okay, so let's start off with a worst case scenario, so to speak. I will turn on the light and start counting here. I will place it in the mode where we're using all the LEDs. So this mode, and then I will turn it to max, and I will start the timer here. So we're at 1376 lux, but we're dropping a little bit, a few lux every few seconds here. So yeah, this is interesting. And the light output, this is a pretty much completely dark room in my bathroom, so yeah, it's lighting things up quite a bit actually. So we're down to 1331, 1328. So let's leave it like this, and this is the maximum light output setting with all the LEDs on, I believe. Let's check quickly. Yep, both types of LEDs are lit, which would explain the lux output. So we're dropping in the loud output constantly, so we don't seem to have a boost circuit, and that's fine maybe. Let's see how long this lasts in this mode. Right, so a few minutes have passed, around 13 minutes, and right now the lux meter is showing 1182 lux. So it's decreasing, but I believe the rate of decrease has decreased, so it's decreasing slower than from maximum levels. Maybe that's because lithium batteries, when fully charged at 4.2 volts, then drop voltage relatively fast down to the nominal operating voltage of 3.7 volts maybe. So we're still above 1000 lux here, and yeah, 13.5 minutes into the test. So yeah, let's keep it running, and I can feel the metal here is a little bit warm, but not too much. So yeah, 1166, 1166, 71, somewhere there in between. We might be pulse width modulating soon, which might get noticeable, which will make the lux meter fluctuate a bit. So yeah, 1163, and almost 50 minutes in. I mean, 50 minutes isn't a whole lot yet, but at least this is on maximum output and with all the LEDs on. So yeah, let's continue the test, and at right about 50 minutes now, we're at 1160. Okay, I will keep it running, and we'll have a look a little bit later again. Alright, so we're still lighting up this area pretty nicely in this completely dark bathroom. Of course, the white tiles on the wall reflect the light, but still, it's very cozy in here, so to speak. So we have passed 30 minutes, we're at 32.5 minutes, and the lux meter is showing 1026 lux. So yeah, that's the 30-minute mark. Let's keep it running and see what happens. Right, so the lamp is still on. We're getting some light output, but we have dropped quite significantly. We're right at 1 hour, and yeah, and we have 844.1 lux. So last time we checked, we were still above 1000, so we have dropped over 150 lux since the last check. But it's still a decent amount of light. So let's continue and see what we get. Okay, so the light output has decreased visibly. It's still cozy in here and all, but let's have a closer look. We're at 1.5 hours into the test, and we're down to only 305 lux, and now we are decreasing rapidly. So it seems that 1.5 hours is about what we get, maybe on a full charge. With the light on the maximum setting, in the mode where we're using all LEDs. So yeah, we can see that we have in just a minute we have decreased from 330 or so, was it? Now we're at 272. So yeah, that's interesting. Let's let it run and for a few more minutes and see where we end up. An hour and 36 minutes almost, and we're down to only 125 lux. Visibly less light, and but still usable, like a mood light to make it cozy. But yeah, so let's give it a little bit more time and see when it cuts off. And once again, a few minutes have passed. We're at 1 hour 41 minutes and 30 seconds, and we're only at 60 lux. So yeah, we don't get a whole lot of light anymore from this one, but it still looks nice. So if you have it on a table and have it lit, it's still very nice. And maybe running at maximum light output with all the LEDs on in that mode, mixed mode, isn't the most recommended mode if you want to have a long runtime. But 1 hour 42 minutes and 54 lux. So let's give it a few minutes more and see if it cuts off. And after 2.5 hours, 2 hours 32 minutes, I believe. Yes, we're down to 12, 11.5, 9.8, 10 lux, and it's not cutting off yet. So I wonder if there is a cutoff, or if it's draining the battery to a point where maybe it should have cut off at around 2.9 volts, maybe, depending on the battery type inside. So yeah, but basically 2.5 hours. I mean, that's decent anyway. Of course, it doesn't give us much light anymore. So I would say that it is dimmer than it looks on camera. So let's try to see if we can yeah. So but okay, I will give it a few more minutes. Okay, so we're right at 3 hours almost. 2 hours and 57 minutes. And the lux meter is showing 6.8, 6.5 lux. And yeah, if I back up a bit, yeah, it's not a huge amount of light. The camera is actually showing more light than it is. And yeah, I would say that at this stage this light is not very usable. To my eyes, it's, yeah, I can see it's on, but barely. And this is in a completely dark room, so if this light would be placed somewhere where there are windows or other sources of light in the room, you will probably not see that it's turned on even. So yeah, 5.5 lux. I don't think that is very good for the battery to run this low anyway, and I want to test it a bit more, so I would say 3 hours runtime. And I believe it said on the box something about 4 to 6 hours of runtime. But of course we ran it in the worst case scenario, so with all the LEDs on and maximum output. So I believe that it's time to recharge this light, and then because it doesn't have much energy left in the cell. And let's have a look at the LEDs. Yeah, they're turned on, but nothing spectacular. So we should recharge it, and then we can measure the total amount of milliamp hours that we can push into the battery, and then we can do a new test only in maybe some other mode to compare the output, maybe placing it in the more cozy lighting, the warmer color temperature where not all LEDs are on, and then placing it maybe halfway on the light output scale, so to speak, and see how many hours we get then. So yeah, let's abort this test. And I want to remind you that it's currently set to maximum output. So if I try to lower it to minimum, oh wait a minute, yeah, then we have 0 lux, and then I increase it to maximum, and we're back to 6 or 7. And at minimum, yeah, this is minimum. So if I back up a bit, yeah, not a whole lot of light. So yeah, basically, let's end this test here. I can switch it to some other mode. This is the warmest mode, and I will crank it up. Yeah, in that mode we only have 2 or 3 lux at maximum with the battery drained. So then we don't have all the LEDs on, I suspect. Yeah, only one row. The other row is completely off. So we should get better runtime, of course, but let's test that. So I will turn it off, and let's get to charging. Alright, so let's try to charge the light again. It was very dim when we disconnected it, so the battery is considered flat. And I have reset my USB meter. Let's just try first using the supplied USB-C lead. Previously it maxed out at about 410 milliamps. So let's see what we get now. Let me zoom in a bit. Okay, 0.67 amps. 6.5. Okay, that's more than 0.4. So let's disconnect it and use the Logitech USB-C lead and see what, if any, difference we observe now. Interestingly, now we're getting 0.43 amps, 42 amps on the Logitech lead. That's weird. Previously we got a lot higher charging current using that lead. Let's switch back once again. So that's very odd. Yeah, 600 milliamps. Previously we got a lot less using the white supplied cord. Let me just try it again. If I connect this and then yeah, now I have points. Oh, it fell back to 0.49, 48, 47. Very interesting. Okay, but let's to make it fair review here, let's use this all this applied stuff. So we got 0.57, also decreasing pretty rapidly anyway. Yeah. So let's leave it to it and allow it to charge for as long as it takes. And the manual said something about 3-hour charging time. So yeah, let's leave it to it, and then we'll be back in just a moment. So after 2 hours and 9 minutes and 47 seconds, the charging has stopped. But unfortunately, we only got 746 milliamp hours into the battery, which is far from the 2000 milliamp hour rating that was specified on the AliExpress product page. So that's a disappointment, but we shall try to open the base of the lamp up and see what kind of cell that is inside. But yeah, very disappointing that the cell is subpar and is not meeting the specification. Alright, so let's move on. Okay, so having recharged the light, yeah, we realized that the battery capacity wasn't very high, and unfortunately, and also the light does tilt a bit. Let's have a look at that first. Yeah, so as you can see by this line here on my wall between the tiles, which is pretty straight, we can now see that the stem of the lamp sort of deviates more and more to the right here. So yeah, the quality, construction quality maybe, or QA process isn't the best maybe. So we'll see if we can do something about it maybe later on, but for now let's bring the light back up here. Like this, and so I'm thinking that we did a test with where all the LEDs were turned on, and we set it to maximum sort of light intensity. So let's do a more of a real usability test. Maybe you won't turn it on to that particular setting and run it in the way that I tested it previously. Instead, maybe we are maybe we're gonna turn it on and use the warm light setting, and then count the time here and see sort of what run time do we get until we hit maybe 100 and then maybe 50 lux, having this placed in the same position. Maybe that matters more than sort of from maximum light down to 0 lux sort of thing. So let's do that. I will turn this on, and then yeah, that's the warm setting. And let's see here. Let's turn this on and see now at the lowest. Let's increase it a bit. Yeah, maybe 250 lux or so is a good starting point. And I will turn the light off in here and see. So 222, okay, let me... Yeah, right about there, 260 lux. To me, that looks like a pretty good setting. I would use about... Now this is subjective, but I would use maybe something in terms of this amount of light placed on my dining table to get a little cozy mood, and yeah, that looks pretty nice. Doesn't hurt your eyes, and it isn't too dim, either. So yeah, and let's have a look at the LEDs. Yeah, so we only have one row of LEDs active, which is giving us the warm light here. Yeah, so 2 minutes in, 257, 258 lux. So let's leave it like this for a while and see what happens. An hour and 2 minutes have passed, and yeah, we're still at 242 lux. So so far looking good. An hour of runtime at least, which isn't a lot, but it's certainly better than nothing. So yeah, it looks equally bright as when I left it on about an hour ago. So let's continue the experiment and see what happens. The timer says 1 hour 33 minutes, and the lux meter says 232 lux. So we're down about 20 lux or so, 25 maybe from start, after 1.5 hours. So we're slowly decreasing, not like on the max setting at least. So yeah, let's continue the experiment. And so almost 2.5 hours in, and the lux meter says 226 lux. And yeah, I mean, we've lost a few lux over the course of the 2.5 hours, but the light output is still sufficiently bright. So yeah, let's keep it running and see what happens after 3 or 3.5 hours. We're at 3 hours and 16 minutes, and we're down to about 215 lux now, and it still looks great. So yeah, let's keep going. We're right at 4 hours, and here, yeah, and the lux meter is showing just below 200 lux, so 196, 195 lux. So we have dropped from 250 to 160 in the very beginning, and so we dropped maybe 60, 65 lux, but overall it's still yeah, still great light, and would be perfectly fine as a mood light on a table or something. So and yeah, since the battery capacity is not really what was advertised, as it seems from our recharging experiment, if it's possible to change the battery into a larger capacity one, that would be interesting, I think. But for now, yeah, 4 hours passed and 200 lux. So let's continue. So almost 5 hours in, and we are at 173 lux. So yeah, still looking good. Still plenty of light. So yeah, this will be interesting to see. So we'll continue this experiment. Okay, so as you can see, I have moved the light a bit from my bathroom and into my bedroom, since right now it's pretty dark, so the meter showed 0 lux here as well before I turned on the light. And we're right at 6 hours, and yeah, 158 lux. So so yeah, I don't know, I thought maybe you can better see about how much light you actually get. So yeah, pretty nice little light, and 6 hours strong, going strong. So let's give it more time, and we'll see how much more it can take. I'm thinking that so far we're getting a decent amount of light, so we'll just continue until it goes very dim. And this is from another angle, so you can see how much light we get as it gradually fades off. So yeah, and this is 157 lux or so right beneath the lamp. So LEDs are pointing down onto the lux meter, but this lamp screen actually diffuses the light pretty well, so it's not bad. Just a shame that it didn't live up to the specs on the battery capacity, and of course the light is not straight, but oh well, we'll see what we can do about that a bit later on maybe. And let's have a look. 7 hours 6 minutes, 42 lux. So something has happened between 6 and 7 hours, and we have dropped significantly from over 100 lux down to only 40 or so. So I would say that this sudden drop probably means that there was a sudden drop in battery voltage as well, and time might have come to recharge the battery. The amount of light is visibly less than previously. It's still okay, but it's clearly showing signs of a discharged battery, I would say. And so yeah, we can see that we're now even below 40 lux, so we're dropping pretty fast now. And yeah, so I would say that 7 hours from a full charge on the warm light setting, starting at about 250-260 lux at this location beneath the lamp. So yeah, of course I also only have a sample size of 1, which means that I can't say for certain that your results will be the same, because it might be that they throw in whatever battery cell they have available at the moment. Some may be better ones, some may be worse, and in my case it was about 750-760 milliamp hours if I am not mistaken. But I will try to recharge it again soon, and we will then see how many milliamp hours we can push into the battery. But we're dropping pretty fast now. You can see that within just a minute or two we're down to 36, 37, 36 lux now, and yes, I would say it's time to recharge the battery. So yeah, so let's do that and see what we get this time. Yeah, so on recharging the light, well, after a couple of hours you can see that once again the charging current has dropped from about 0.69 amps to 0.17, and we're only up to 730 milliamp hours, so soon the charging will cut off, and yeah, so the capacity is about the same as last time, and it's no 2000 milliamp hours at least. But yeah, so this is it for part 1 of this rechargeable little table light, and it's a nice enough lamp, but do join me for oh yeah, now it has cut off, so 731 milliamp hours. So this is it for part 1, I believe, but don't miss part 2, because that's where we're gonna take this base apart and see if we can maybe straighten it out, the light and the lamp, and have a closer look at the cell inside. So thank you so much for watching the first part, and join me in the next one. Have a nice day. Bye bye.